Hey everybody, this is John Patrick Adams and thank you for checking out this video. This is a special video that we're going to be talking with Harleaux here. He's here in the studio today, so we're happy to have him here. But if you haven't subscribed to my mailing list or to my YouTube channel, stop right now. Go visit www.johnpatrickadams.com or click on that subscribe button right beneath this video. So again, we have Harleaux. Welcome,
yes.
Harleaux.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, welcome.
I appreciate it.
Harleaux is an author and a poet and a blogger, and he is the founder of Seven Sign, right?
Yes.
So go ahead and tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Okay. All right. Well, again, I'm Carlos Harleaux, and I have a website, www.poeticexpressions.com. On there, you can find my books. As you mentioned, I do write poetry. I've written poetry for over 10 years now. And I have my first book, Blurred Vision. My second book was Hindsight 2020. And my latest book is Honesty Box. And I also do blogging on music, funny, kind of quirky news topics, and inspirational topics as well. And Seven Sign Publishing, pretty much how that started was I self-published my first book, Blurred Vision, and it was hard, I'm not gonna lie. You know, it was a lot of work and trying to gather up, okay, who's gonna do the cover, who's gonna do my editing, and then, you know, even through conversations we had, kind of got the idea to do Seven Sign Publishing, which is basically a one-stop shop. So people can come to me and they can get their books, you know, pretty much published from start to finish. And that goes for graphic design, editing, consulting about their projects, creative consulting, anything like that. And I don't take percentages after the book is printed, but I do everything up to the printed phase of the book and even do some social media promotion once it's released.
So let's get that clear. So after the book is printed, you give them their books, you get nothing.
No, I don't get anything. And some people may think that's kind of crazy that I don't, but I think that's a little messy to try to get into that. And what I mean is it can be tricky because, you know, you're not with the people all the time. You don't really know what is being sold, what is not being sold. It's too hard to track. And then really, I do want to help people get their books out. So by the time they have their book in hand, I've already done my job. So I don't feel the need to try to recoup any extra money at that point.
Okay. So if someone want to contact you about getting a book published, you know, how do they do that?
Okay. You can email me at poetic.expressions.com at Gmail. I'm sorry, poetic.expressions@gmail.com. And poetic is spelled P-E-A-U-X-E-T-I-C.
Okay. .expressions@gmail.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're here because you wrote a new novel,
Yes.
Fortune Cookie. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. All right. Fortune Cookie, yes, is my new novel. And actually, it kind of came through a conversation that we had back in 2013. A novel is something I never, ever wanted to do. And yeah, I didn't have any desire to do one. And you had mentioned, oh, well, why don't you think about doing a novel? And I just kind of brushed it off. And then I think maybe it was a couple months after that, an idea popped in my head. And I said, well, I'll just write until the ideas run out, you know, kind of just for fun. And it ended up turning into being a full novel. So
oh, wow.
I started January 2014. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was New Year's Day when I started it. And then finished it right before Christmas 2014. So it took me about a year to write it, but it's done. And it's basically about this lady. Her name is Cookie. And
Hold on.
Oh.
It's Cookie?
Yeah.
Now you didn't steal that from Empire because everybody's already thinking that you stole it from Empire.
No, I didn't.
Have a remake of Empire, okay?
No, I didn't, because like I said, I finished the book before Empire even aired, before I even knew about that show. But I was kind of nervous about that because when the show came out, I thought, dang, now people are going to think I'm biting off the show. But it's
okay, so did Taraji Henson steal your name, Cookie?
I guess you can say she did.
She
send me a check, Taraji.
Okay, send him a check. Send him a check. All right, so go ahead, man. Keep on talking now. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. So yeah, Cookie, she's the main character of the novel. And basically, I can't give too much away, but she ends up fleeing her hometown and she's running away from something. She's basically running away from all of these bad things that have happened to her basically since college. And with her coming of age as a woman, she's run away from that. She's made a new life and she's moved to a new city, and it's almost 10 years later and then basically her past finds her again, and all of these bad things start happening. So that's how I came up with the title Fortune Cookie. For one, I do love fortune cookies, but her name is Cookie, and then she has this series of bad things that are happening to her, this series of misfortune, if you will. Just things, not even just with her, even people around her, just bad things are just starting to happen. So it's just one thing after another. You know, it's not really a dull moment, and it moves really fast.
Okay, so this brings us to why you're really here to talk about, you have another project that's going on, so tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, all right, I'm running a Kickstarter for my new novel, Fortune Cookie, and it's running from now to July 7th, so we're about a week into it, about 3 more weeks left. And for those that don't know, Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform, and basically what crowdfunding is, through sites like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, GoFundMe, and then there's some other ones out there, a lot of different sites.
Okay.
But basically you're putting a project out for the general public, and basically you are asking for funds. But specifically with Kickstarter, you're asking for funds, but then you're also giving that backer or that person that pledges a physical product in the end. So basically people are paying for the product, and the way I'm marketing mine is I'm using the money, it's $1,000 goal that I'm trying to raise, and it's going towards marketing and advertising for Fortune Cookie. All of the publishing piece and printing, that's paid for. I mean, at this point I'm just editing the book, but as we both know, you know, once you put a book out, that's half the battle. So then you have to pay for marketing, advertising, doing events, so that's what the money is going to go towards. That, and then as well as giving people their rewards, which I'm giving away exclusive t-shirts, I'm giving away alternate endings of the novel, so there's a limited edition that has an alternate ending.
Oh, wow.
You can get your name printed in the book, and then you can also get a character named and written after you in the book as well. So it's something, a creative means of pre-orders is something I've never seen done before. So that's my main motivation for doing this, is not to get $1,000 per se, but just basically to do a creative way to kind of a pre-launch before the book comes out in November.
Okay, so what made you go this route? I mean, why did you decide to use Kickstarter?
Okay, well, I'm working on a capstone project for, well, I will be next semester for grad school, and it's my final project. And basically, the idea I'm proposing is kind of much like how my publishing company runs. This would be a site, hopefully, that people can go to, mainly independent authors or authors that are trying to self-publish. They can go to this site, and it's a database filled with graphic designers, editors, basically all of these people and resources that you would need to create a book. So they can go to this one place and get all of their resources in. And it's also a good way of networking for the people who are the graphic designers. You know, for instance, they get to post their work and things they've done. People can leave reviews. So that's my vision for it. So that's one piece of it. It kind of ties into that. And another thing, TLC, for those that know me, is one of my favorite groups. And they did a Kickstarter earlier this year for their new album that's coming out later this year. And at first, I have to admit, when I first heard about it, I knew what crowdfunding was, but I didn't really have a deep understanding of it. And I just thought, wow, they're famous. You know, why would they need to go to Kickstarter to raise funds for their new album? But they offered a lot of special rewards and things in there too, which I thought was cool. So they raised the money, and then right after that, De La Soul did a Kickstarter, which I pledged to their Kickstarter as well. And they raised even more money. And I just started researching crowdfunding and Kickstarter campaigns specifically, and some of the creative things that people were doing. I just thought, wow, this is something that I think authors really need to jump on the bandwagon and just be a part of this cutting edge movement. I just finished reading a book that talks about how people are, they're kind of not ready for this crowdfunding wave that's coming, but it is coming, and pretty soon, you know, a lot of things are going to be crowdfunded, and you know, it's really kind of the wave of the future. So it was my way of trying to get into that now before it strikes as a big thing that everybody's doing.
Right, and it's amazing how we use the word crowdfunding or the title crowdfunding, but technically we've been doing crowdfunding for years.
Right.
Because when you go to a concert and you buy a ticket, in advance, you're pretty much crowdfunding or kickstarting that concert, because if they don't sell enough tickets, guess what? That artist is not coming to town.
Exactly.
So people don't get that. Kickstarter and crowdfunding has been going on for a long time. It just hasn't been called that.
Right.
And one thing I definitely want to go back to what you said earlier, where you were saying after your Kickstarter project is over with, is going to launch a website where graphic artists and there's like a whole pool of people that are coming together. So through this project, you're even creating other opportunities for other people in the future. So, I mean, go a little bit more into that, because I think people need to hear that this is much bigger than $1,000.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. It's much bigger than that. And it's, like I said, I'm documenting this whole experience, crowdfunding, my thoughts on it, which is on a separate website. So if you all get a chance, check that out too. And it's called kickforacookie.com, all one word. And it's basically me just blogging about my experience with this crowdfunding. And as far as the project goes, yeah, it's definitely something that I'm presenting it as a mock-up.
Okay.
But from what I was told from my school, depending on how well it goes over, they do offer grants to make it a reality. So depending on how this Kickstarter goes, and then depending on how the capstone project goes, it could be something really new and exciting that, you know, I'll get to be a part of as far as publishing and things that are going on for authors.
So, and I guess that also for you authors that are out there, you graphic designers, you poets and everything, I think one thing people need to understand is if they support this, that eventually they are investing in their own future, because they can be a part of this movement that you're starting, right?
Right, exactly.
It's open to everybody,
yes,
right?
I would be calling on some people I know for this project. So, yes, your support is definitely appreciated. And the money that I'm using to raise this is, a lot of people have a misconception about crowdfunding, and they think that, oh, you're raising money to get rich. Well, first of all, for me, you know, I'm asking for $1,000. I'm not going to get rich off $1,000, obviously. But what I am using the money for is for, again, marketing and advertising the book. And also that money goes right back into shipping costs for the rewards that people have pledged for, goes into the t-shirts that are being designed, and then those have to be shipped out. It goes into the physical book itself that has to be shipped. So there's a lot of money that goes into this. So really at the end of the day, and this is with anybody that's doing a crowdfunding platform, you have to make a whole lot of money, probably way more over your ask. And even then, you're not going to get rich from a successful Kickstarter or a crowdfunding campaign.
Oh, wow.
It's the opportunities that, I think what people don't get is the opportunities that are presented to you maybe after that campaign, a successful campaign. That's what can make you rich. It's not doing the campaign itself.
So if you don't raise the money, do you get the money?
No.
So if you raise $999, you get zilch, right?
Right. I don't get anything.
And we definitely need to clear this up here. People don't get charged on their credit cards or PayPal accounts or the way they're giving unless you reach your goal, right?
Right.
So if you don't reach your goal, nobody gets charged.
Right.
That's right?
That's right. And that's a good point you bring up, because anybody that's thinking about it and you're hesitating because of money reasons, the reason why I say it's good to go ahead and give now is because Kickstarter kind of runs as a numbers game too. And what I mean by that is, let's say, you know, you throw a project out there and you get, I'm just throwing a number out here, 30 people to donate that first day. And it's going to catch their attention. And then Kickstarter does this thing where they'll do a featured project of the day. But usually those featured projects are ones that have maybe gained a lot of momentum, or maybe it's something like really weird or quirky that nobody's ever heard of. So for those reasons, it's good to just go ahead and do it now, because it won't take any money out of your account. Like I said, I backed 7 projects, so I know for sure they do not collect the money until the goal has been reached. And thankfully to those people, and definitely great news for them, all 7 that I've backed, they've all hit their goals. So now I'm just waiting to get my reward at this point.
Okay, cool. So outside of the, what is another misconception that you want to clear up about Kickstarter? Is there anything else you want to clear up about it?
Well, I just want to say, you know, a lot of people, they shy away from it because they think it's a pride thing. Like, oh, I'm out here begging people for money, I'm asking people for money. Well, you know, you think about it, and this is for authors, and this goes for anybody that's selling a project. Um, if I wasn't doing this Kickstarter, I would be asking for your money in November for my book signing. So it's the same thing, you know, and actually really it's better now to get in on the Kickstarter because I'm not going to sell this book at this price ever again, you know, and then with some of the rewards that are given, the alternate versions, all that, I'm not going to do a mass printing of that. It's going to be, if 20 people order the alternate version of the book, I'm printing 20 copies and that's it. So it really is a good way for people to get in on something that's exclusive. And another thing too, just to put it in perspective, and like you said, that's a great point when you said we've been doing Kickstarters for years, because Janet Jackson, she's back, she's making a comeback. And right. I was looking on her site and she's selling pre-sale for her CD, the physical copy of her CD. You can get a t-shirt, you can get maybe like a vinyl copy of it, and then the CD copy. So it's pretty much a Kickstarter. I mean, but people have no problems or no questions supporting it because it's Janet Jackson. Oh, she's famous. And
right, and all she's doing her new album on her own label, right?
Right, exactly. That's a good point.
So people, she's getting all the money.
Right.
She's getting all the money.
Exactly.
There is no record label because she's the record label. So
right.
Here's a prime example of making somebody rich. For real, making somebody rich.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Exactly. So yeah. So when you think about it from that perspective, you know, support is support, and you know, that's one thing I kind of wish people would get out of their mind is that, oh, well, I'm supporting you to come up financially, and that's not the case because, like I said, I'm putting this money back into the project. I'm not pocketing this money. All of this money is going to go back into pushing Fortune Cookie. I already have ideas for promotional videos that I want to do once it gets closer to the official release, things like that. So this isn't money I'm just pocketing away. You know, it's money that's being used for that project. And you know, we throw away our money, we go to you know, people will go to a club or a bar and they'll drop $50 easy.
Right.
And then what do you have to show for it but a hangover the next day? So, you know, it just kind of goes back into what will you support and who will you support. You know, that's the way I look at it.
Right, and so in closing here, because we're about to wrap this up, I definitely want to say to all you dreamers and you people out there that are trying to make your dreams come true or working on making your dreams come true and you're out on your grind, I'm a firm believer in giving and reaping what you sow, and when you give and support other people, that always come back to you tenfold. I'm a firm believer of that. So go out, support this brother, give, and you're going to get something in return. You're going to get a book, but the greater gain is what you give is going to come back to you tenfold. That's Newton's third law and everything. So go out and support this brother. So tell us one more time your website.
Okay. My website is www.poeticexpressions.com. For the Kickstarter, even if you just go to Kickstarter.com and you type in my name or type in my name and Fortune Cookie, the project will come up. So again, you'll be able to back the project, and the pledges range from as low as $5 and it goes up to $100. And then I'll also be rolling out some other new rewards here soon. But yeah, again,
okay.
And Kick for Cookie again is the blog that's kind of detailing this journey.
Okay, and we'll put all of those links in the comment section of this video, so make sure you check it out. And again, thank you for checking out this video, and make sure you check out this week's post of Been There, Done That, wrote a book about it because it's going to be hot as usual. All right, peace.